privileged spirits I was talking, decides upon human oddities and absurdities, which they comment on with sarcasm and satire. If they take distinguished names, it's more out of mischievousness than wickedness. Eighth class, pseudo-learned spirits. The knowledge of these spirits is quite broad, but they think they know more than they actually do. Since they have made a certain amount of progress in some sense, their language has a serious tone about it that can be deceptive as to their true abilities and enlightenment. However, such is frequently nothing more than a reflection of the prejudices and theoretical ideas they held during their earthly life. They held. Their language contains a few truths mixed in with the most absurd errors, giving rise to the presumption, pride, envy, and stubbornness from which they have not been able to free themselves. 70 class neutral spirits. These are neither moral enough to do good nor bad enough to engage in wickedness, hatred. They vacillate between the two. They have not raised themselves above the ordinary human condition regarding either their moral qualities or their intelligence. They are attached to the things of this world and long for its core satisfactions. 60 class. Boisterous and disturbing spirits. Strictly speaking, these spirits don't form a distinct class as to their personal qualities, and they may belong to any of the third order classes. They frequently make their presence known through perceptible and physical effects, such as reps, the movement and abnormal displacement of solid objects, the movement of the air, etc. They appear to be more attached to matter than the others, and they are the principal agents of instability in the globe's elements, whether by acting upon the atmosphere, water, fire, and solid bodies, or in the entrails of the earth. One can recognize whenever such phenomena are not due to any fortuitous and physical cause, because there is an intentional and intelligent character about them. Although all spirits can produce this phenomena, higher order spirits usually leave them to subaltern ones, since they are more suitable for material hater than intelligent matters. Suitable for material hater than intelligent matters. Thus, when the higher order spirits deem that manifestations of this type are useful, they use these spirits as their agents. Second order, good spirits. Let me see until it's today. Second order, I will finish this life. General characteristics: predominance of spirit over matter, desire to do good. These spirit's qualities and ability to do good are in proportion to the degree of advancement they have reached. Some possess scientific knowledge, while others display wisdom and benevolence. The more highly evolved ones combine knowledge with moral qualities. Since they have not yet materialized themselves completely and depending on their class, they still preserve stronger or weaker traces of their corporeal existence and might display some of their former eccentricities in their language or habits. If it were not for this, they would be purified spirits. They comprehend God and the infinite, and they already enjoy the happiness of the morally upright. In addition, they feel happy when they do good and hinder evil. The love that unites them is a source of ineffable happiness that cannot be affected by envy, remorse, or any of the other evil passions afflicting imperfect spirits. Nevertheless, they must continue to undergo trials until they reach perfection. As spirits, they encourage good thoughts in people and dissuade them from the path of evil. They also watch over the lives of those who have made themselves worthy, and they neutralize the influence of imperfect spirits on those who don't yield to them. When incarnate, they are good and benevolent toward others. They do good for its own sake, and they neither allow themselves to be led by pride, selfishness, or ambition, nor do they display hatred, bitterness, envy, or jealousy. In popular belief, this order includes the spirits called good spirits, guardian spirits, and spirits of benevolence. In times of ignorance and superstition, they were regarded as beneficent deities. We may divide this order into four principal groups. Four. Fifth class, benevolent spirits. Their dominant quality is kindness. They take pleasure in serving and protecting human beings, but their knowledge is limited. Their progress has occurred more in the moral sense than in the intellectual. Fourth class, learned spirits. These are especially distinguished by the extent of their knowledge. They are less concerned with moral issues because they have a great aptitude for scientific ones, but they only pursue science for its usefulness. These spirits are also free of the passions that characterize imperfect spirits. Third class, wise spirits. These are characterized by moral qualities of the highest degree. Even though they do not possess unlimited knowledge, they are endowed with an intellectual capacity that enables them to judge people and things precisely. Second class, high order spirits. This combines science, wisdom, and goodness. Their language only displays benevolence and is always noble, elevated, and frequently sublime. Their left status hinders them more able than the others to impart to us the most correct notions concerning the things of the incorporeal world within the limits of the knowledge permitted to us. They willingly communicate with those who in good faith seek truth and whose souls are sufficiently freed from earthly connections to enable such understanding. However, they turn from those who are only motivated out of curiosity or who, through the influence of matter, turn from practicing the good. Practicing the good. When they incarnate on earth under exceptional circumstances, they accomplish a mission of progress, displaying to us the type of perfection to which humankind can aspire in this world. First order, pure spirits. General characteristics: no influence from matter, absolute intellectual moral superiority in relation to the spirits of the other orders. Progressing of spirits, progression. I think I must read this. Angels and demons, no. First order, pure spirits. General characteristics: no influence from matter, absolute intellectual and moral superiority and relation to the spirits of the other orders. First and only class. These spirits have ascended through all of the degrees of hierarchy and have freed themselves from all the impurities of matter. Having reached the highest perfection possible for created beings, they have no more trials or expiations to endure. Moreover, because they are no longer subject to incarnation, imperishable bodies, they live eternally in the bosom of God. Since they are no longer subject to needs or the vicissitudes of material life, they enjoy an unalterable bliss. Nevertheless, such bliss is not a monotonous idleness lived in perpetual contemplation. They are the messengers and ministers of God who order they carry out to maintain universal harmony. They direct all the spirits, banish them, help them to perfect themselves, and assign them their missions. They assist human in their distress and inspire them to do good or to expiate the wrongs that keep them from supreme bliss. Sometimes these spirits are called angels, archangels, and or seraphim. Humans may communicate with them, but those who claim to have them constantly as their order are very presumptuous indeed. The progression of spirits. Are spirits good or evil by nature, or may they seek to impure themselves? They may improve themselves. They seek to improve themselves. They may improve themselves, and as they do so, they pass from a lower order to a higher one. Have some spirits been created good and other evil? This point is the progression of spirits. Answer. God has created all spirits simple and ignorant, without knowledge. God has given each of them a mission. It's aimed at enlightening them and progressively leading them toward perfection through knowledge of the truth in order to draw them near to God. In that perfection, they will find eternal bliss without any troubles. The spirits acquire knowledge by experience, the thrill that God has imposed on them. Some humbly accept uh, these thrills and thus arrive more quickly at their destiny. Whereas others cannot endure them without complaining. Thus, through their own fault, these later ones remain far from the perfection and bliss promised to them. Then are all spirits as their origin ignorant and inexperienced, like children who gradually acquire the knowledge they lack by passing through the different phases of human life? Yes, that is an accurate comparison. How much children improve depends on their behavior. Rebellious children remain ignorant and imperfect. However, human life has an ending, whereas that of spirits extends to infinity. Are there spirits who remain forever in the lower orders? No. All will become perfect. They change, albeit slowly, for as we once said, a just and merciful Father cannot punish his children forever. Do you think that God, who is so great, so good, and so just, could be worse than you yourselves? Other question. Does it depend? 117. Does it depend on the spirits themselves or hasten their advancement toward perfection? Absolutely. The amount of time it takes them depends on their desire and submission to God's will. Doesn't a well-behaved child learn faster than one who is obstinate? Is a question. Can spirits regress? No, as they progress. They gain an understanding of what is holding them back from perfection. When a spirit finishes a particular trial, it never forgets the knowledge it acquired. A spirit may remain stationary, but it never regresses. Could God exempt spirits from the trials that are required of them to reach the first order? If they had been created already perfect, they would not deserve to enjoy the benefits of that perfection. Where would the merit be without the struggle? Besides inequality among them is necessary for their personalities to develop, while the missions entrusted to them in the various degrees of the hierarchy reside in the designs of providence for ensuring the harmony of the universe. is finished or not. Oh my God. So, must all spirits pass through the trio? Mm, not evil, but ignorance. Have a note before it. Since it's possible for everyone in societal life to reach the highest positions, we might just as easily ask why sovereigns of countries don't make generals of every one of their soldiers, why all entry level employees are not made supervisors, or why all students are not professors. There is, however, one distinct difference between societal life and spirit life, and that former is limited and doesn't always allow everyone to reach the highest degree, whereas that later is unlimited and assures everyone the possibility of reaching the highest position. It's so good. We, how spirits, we have unlimited and assures everyone the possibility of reaching the highest position. Must all spirits pass through the trio of evil to reach the good? Not evil, but ignorance. It's a difference, great difference. Why have some spirits follow the path of the good, but others the path of evil? Uh, don't they have free will? The spirit asks. God doesn't create any spirits evil. Pay attention. Don't they have free will? They will answer with other question to Kardec. Kardec said, what have some spirits followed the path of the good, but others the path of evil? Then high spirits asked Kardec, don't they have free will? Then we have free will. We are commanded here by high or by evil or by ignorant spirits. It depends in what we are focused. We choose good or evil. Don't they have free will? God doesn't create any spirits evil from the start. They are created simple and ignorant, not evil, ignorant, without know. That is capable of both good and evil. Those who are evil have become so through their own will. And it signifies that you will have return of this to you. You will have return. For good you choose, for evil you choose. Of course, God is just and just, and God is the creator of all universe. Don't they have free will? I read this. A note from Kardec. At their origin, how are spirits free to choose between good and evil when they are not yet self-aware? It's another answer Kardec made in the same answer, in the same question. Is there some inner principle or tendency that leads them more toward one side than the other? Answer. Free will develops as the spirit acquires self-awareness. This would be no actual choice if it were made by a cause strenuous to the spirit's will. The cause is not within the spirit, but outside, in the influence to which it yields in virtue of its free will. This is the great symbol of the fall of humankind and original sin. Some yielded to temptation, others resisted it. Where do the influence that where do the influence where do the influences that act upon the spirits come from? From the imperfect spirits. See this. Where do the influences that act upon spirits come from? From the imperfect spirits who seek to evolve and dominate them, and who delight in making them succumb. Pay attention. This is what is represented in the allegory of Satan. Does the influence act on a spirit only when it first comes into being? Answer. It follows the spirit over the course of its existence until it has acquired so much self-control that evil spirits don't bother it any longer. Why does God allow spirits to follow the path of evil? Then he makes this in Kardec. How do you dare ask God to give account for the divine acts? Do you think you can delve into God's will? Instead, you should say that God's wisdom is found in the freedom of choice that has been granted to each spirit so that each one may have the merit of its own deeds. Other question. There are spirits who follow the path of the absolute good from the beginning, while others follow the path of absolute evil. Aren't there gradations between these two extremes? Yes, certainly. They are the paths of the vast majority. Will those spirits who follow the path of evil be able to arrive at the same degree of elevation as the others? Yes, but pay attention, but the eternities will be much longer for them, for evil. We must understand the expression eternities to mean the way in which imperfect spirits regard the perpetuity of their sufferings. rules, and they are not allowed to foresee. This belief is renewed every time they succumb to a trial. In God's sight are the spirits who reach the highest degree after having passed through evil less meritorious than the others. Answer: God looks upon those who have gone astray with the same regard and loves all of them in the same way. They are called evil because they have succumbed. Before that, they were nothing more than simple spirits. Are all spirits created equal with regards to their intellectual faculties? They are all created equal, but since they don't know where they come from, they must develop their free will. They progress in both intelligence and morality at different rates. Spirits, note from Kardec, spirits who follow the path of the good from the beginning are not therefore perfect because of it. Okay, it's not perfect because follow the path of the good from the beginning. Although they have no evil tendencies, they must will acquire the necessary experience and knowledge needed for perfection. We could compare them to children who must develop and learn no matter how good their natural instincts are. They don't suddenly go from infants to adulthood without a transition. Just as there are individuals who are good from childhood and others who are evil, there are spirits who are good or evil from the start, but with the crucial difference that a child possesses its instincts already formed, whereas a spirit is neither evil nor good at its formation. Later, it has both tendencies, talk in one direction or the other, is in virtue if of its own free will. And I stop it here. The next I will talk about this book, Angels and Demons. I hope you understand, more or less, I don't know. And I hope you in the next live. Bye.